How's it, everybody? Welcome back to Reeches. It's Sanctum Gamer here, and we are back once again after a very, very long time. And yeah, it's interesting to be back here. I feel like I've even forgotten how to build, but here we are. I was on a long leave of study, I guess, if I should call it that. And now I am back. I am done with my studies. I'm ready to delve right back into City Skylines. So it's been a while, and I thought I would start off by just showing what everything looks like, because it's for both you and me. Honestly, I'm forgetting exactly what I was doing. But the last time when I left off, I had just built out this entire area, which was to try and finish off this town. And the plan is to continue expanding out in this entire area. Let me bring this up, this entire area into all of the farmlands, blending into what will be a new town over here, and ultimately a big dock and stuff like that. But coming back into things, I feel like I want to move away from the rural stuff and actually come and do a little bit of dense building. And I don't know why, but that's kind of what I feel like doing. I feel like building things like this helps get things back into, I don't know, shape much faster. It's easier to build out like a big city than plan out rural areas. And so I want to start off today by doing some road work. So I want to extend this road over into this side. So we're going to do quite a bit of reworking in this area. We're going to extend it into this side. We're going to set up a little bit of a road network. And then I want to convert this area into a nice big sort of interchange that is going to allow connectivity of all of these roads going in all directions. Because with this road coming in here, it's going to be a major feed into this area, and likewise to that island, and it must handle the traffic of getting all of the vehicles out of the space. As you can see from the way things are, there's going to be no rail connections here, but there'll definitely be trams. But because there's no rail, it means that everybody is going to need to rely on vehicles to get in and out, with, I guess, rail every now and then. Not rail, man. Trams every now and then. So we're going to start in this little area. I'm going to probably do a little bit of demolishing. Going to bring this road over, and then I want to connect up all of this area and just get a whole road network thing going here. See if I can set up the foundation of what I want this place to look like. Alrighty, I'm going to pause the game here. I'm going to start doing some demolishing, and then let's get right back into building. Alrighty, let me take a pause and chat very quickly about what's happening here, because I originally started off wanting to just build out the roads, and next thing I know, here I am building a stadium that is under construction and all kinds of stuff, and now I'm trying to fill in all of these gaps. And as you can see, it's sort of getting darker. The weather system is changing, and that is because it's actually been about 2 or 3 weeks since I started building this to where I am right now, and in that time a major game patch seems to have dropped. And since that drop, I no longer can find the climate tab in the developer modes. So because of that, I can't lock my weather settings. So this means that my weather is going to be adjusting and changing, and all kinds of funky stuff is going to be happening, and it's going to be out of my control until such time as it hopefully comes back one day. So otherwise, this is where we are at. I've been trying to figure out what to do over here whilst I get myself back into the game. I thought I'll put a little park over here, and originally I had wanted to just make this a regular stadium. And I'm like, you know what, regular stadiums have been done so many times, why don't I just do something slightly different? And that's where the idea of a stadium under construction came to my mind. And so I started building this. I see these pillars that I had put here have sort of gone all the way up, because since the game update, it seems like something has changed, and now it doesn't go all the way to the ground like it used to. So this is something that I'm gonna have to figure out. I will probably figure something out off camera and make it work in a better way than it currently is. But that is where we are at. I will clean this sort of things up. I want to try and fill in all of this space, and then we're going to extend the parking lots also onto this side, and then I'm hoping that I can try and fill in all of this area with some kind of development before the end of this video. But progress is slow as I get myself back into this. All these new menus and stuff confuse me, and I don't even know what is happening. But yeah, everybody, this is where we are at. Let's keep building, and let's see if I can at least try and finish off the space around the stadium. Alrighty, I think I am done with the entire area around the stadium, at least in the immediate area. So I've expanded out on a bit of the construction site. Ooh, I see I've got a little spot here that I did not fill with my nice old, whatever you wanna call this thing. What is this thing? Ooh, I don't like the way that works. I wish it filled it out better. I think this needs to extend out to somewhere around here. I can bring it into there, over there, and then just close it off over here, and then at least we've got some kind of a concrete thing. All right, so I've extended out the construction area a little bit. I kind of figured I'll leave one or two of these areas still looking a little bit messy because this area was recently done, and we are continuing the expansion, and very soon all of this area will be done, and this stadium would have undergone an expansion where perhaps it didn't have this covering over the top level, and that is what they're adding, or rather they're adding one more level of seating all around the stadium. I really considered removing some of these and making this construction site a bit bigger, but at the time of this recording I'm thinking otherwise, but who knows, maybe I might do it before the end of the video. I'll have to see. Haven't really filled in this area because I didn't know whether I wanted to make this place look a little bit better than just a bunch of trees sitting here. But for now, I was completely out of ideas or in terms of what to put in the back here. So I figured let me just leave it kind of foresty, nice and tree rich. I don't think it looks too bad. We've got a little park over here. We've got parking lots that have been constructed in and around this space. I am going to build another big another big parking space over here that hopefully I can connect with this building so that it looks like there's some kind of a bridge that connects them. This is, I guess, the slightly more expensive ticket. Who knows? I stuck some underground parking here as well. I've never used this before, so I don't even know how many parking spots it has. 200. All right. I'm hoping that in time, as we expand out and build out in all of these spaces, all of this will start getting filled up. And then I've got the road that's set up. This road is going to basically be the one that's going to make its way all the way down to those islands over on that side and hopefully connect up every single thing. So yeah, everybody, we've got a stadium in the city now. It is a stadium under construction. At least it's something that is slightly different from what I have seen. I'm hoping now that I can go ahead and expand and fill out this area before we call it quits for the video, and let's see how far I can get, because I would really like to fill out a little bit more around the stadium itself, but I'm not really sure of how I want to do that yet. So let's get into a little bit of time-lapse building. Let's get some buildings in and around the space, and let's see how we can get this entire area looking. Alrighty, let's take a stop over here and let's look at where we are at. So I've built out a little sort of interchange, or I don't know, switch from one road to the other over here. And the idea is that we're gonna develop the city out into this space, but around the sea here, we're going to have quite a bit of industrial. So I want to try and get some industrial buildings mixed in nicely with the entire area. And look at this. Since the game update, sorry, I'm segueing. Since the game update now, I'm getting this not enough customers error come back. I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple of months ago, this thing used to be a major problem. And then an update was dropped and most of these basically vanished. Now look at my city. The rest of the city looks fine for the most part, but I have a lot of areas now where I have this not enough customers, and this has only crept up since the latest update dropped. So it is what it is. Anyways, back to this place. So I'm planning on mixing in quite a lot of industrial and maybe some rundown apartments and things like that in this space. And then we finally got this bridge crossing over onto this island where we're going to start a lot of the development. And I want this area to be a bit more leisure. So most of this area will probably be beaches. We'll probably extend the island out just a little bit, but most of this will probably be beaches. And then I want to try and create a nice space in here of keys and stuff that comes together very nicely. And I've left this road over here because I think I have plans for something that I want to build over here, but I'm not entirely sure. But in the end, I think this is all right. You will not believe how much time I spent off camera trying to get all of this to like align and line up as smoothly as possible. It turns out, something I didn't know, that if I go into the manipulation mode, I can actually raise and lower each of these little thingamabobs. Look at that. I can lower each of these individual ones. I mean, right? Some people probably knew this. I did not know, but that is a huge game changer for me because now I'm able to get my roads looking nice and smooth. I've got my on and off ramps also looking nice and smooth. And now I can adjust things individually. And now I can build my bridges also looking so much cooler. I mean, that is just fantastic. I didn't know I could do that. Now I know. I am very, very happy. I'm definitely going to be playing a lot with that. And then, of course, final expansion in this area. This is just to fill out this space. I think I did this off camera where I put this tiny little industrial pocket over here. I've noticed that when I put little industry things like this, I get different things that come up. So, as an example, all the way over in the town of Shepherd, I was testing this out and I put this industrial buildings over here, a whole bunch of them. And one or two of these ones became the thing that I've been looking for like the longest time, which is something that generates, what's this thing? What's it called again? Come on, let's find it. Let's find it. I know it's here somewhere. High resource costs, right? Beverages. So beverages are the thing that nothing of mine seems to want to generate. But one of these buildings started producing beverages. And I can't remember which one it is. I used to have a building here that was generating beverages. And now I can't find one. Whatever. So everybody, this is it. We're going to leave it here for today. I was planning on building out all of this space as well, but building this took me a lot longer than I expected. I had built stuff here and I changed it. I decided to make this sort of like an underground entrance, maybe for VIPs, and then you've got underground parking over here. I was planning on expanding out on some parking in this space, but I think I'll leave that for the next video. So for today, this is it, everybody. I think we are done. Not a bad first build, I think, after being away for quite a while. So in the next video, I'm looking forward to expanding out into all of this place. I want to try and fill out all of this spot and start extending out into this side, and then try and start incorporating quite a bit of industrial in and around this space and start working towards getting the entire city all wrapped up. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button. Leave a comment below of the things you would like to see, what you enjoyed, ideas, comments, and so on. And of course, if you've been here a while and you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. It will be truly appreciated. Big thanks to all of my patrons and YouTube members for all the extra support that you continue to choose to show the channel. It is truly appreciated. Enjoy the cinematics of our city, and I shall catch you all in the next one. Cheers, everybody.